Hey guys, Camfrey15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with another episode review of Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman episode review for you guys. This is episode 6, and man, was this episode damn good. This is honestly probably, in my opinion, the best episode we've gotten up to this point. You had crazy action, you had a serious tone and just an emotional like ending to everything here with this MeWe arc that we got here. But man, it was crazy, bro. It was definitely crazy. So you basically have it to where we're basically getting the aftermath of this incident and everything, and Beryl's kind of just chilling and everything. He's still doing his training and everything. Now, he ends up going to the blacksmith to get his new sword, and he gets the new sword, and he's looking very forward to trying it out and everything. And it looks like a it looks like a dope sword, right? But he eventually gets called in, um, to by Alucia, to basically attend to this matter that's at hand, and that's pertaining the MeWe incident. And we find out that Lucy actually gave him the call too. So basically, Lucy brings her into his house or her house, right? And he's basically meets, I think, like this one like church official, right? And essentially, this church official is like, "Hey, I'm so and so. It's nice to meet you. The swordsman and everything." And basically, he kind of gives the breakdown and the rundown. Um, because at the end of the last episode, in the post-credit scene, we saw that the Pope clearly was doing some shady shit, right? And basically, the church official is like, "Yeah, look, the Pope is doing this stuff, and it's involving like bringing people back from the dead and shit like that, right?" Now they basically, him and Lucy basically say like, "Hey, it'd be much appreciated if you could handle this situation for us." And Beryl's like, "Wait, why can't you guys do it?" They're like, "Well, we can't do it because we're technically official members." Well, one, he's an official member of the church, so we can't call up on the BS. And then Lucy doesn't really want to get involved because if she gets involved, it could potentially give away to the Pope knowing like, "Hey, these dudes are after me, like the royal army, the royal guild group is after me." So it kind of makes sense why they just be like, "You know what, let's just send this swordsman here, and he won't expect it, the last thing to be expected, right? But if we were to go, the Pope will basically wise up and he'll leave town." Because we find out the Pope, he's kind of like a traveling Pope. He goes around, I guess, all this country's like areas, right? For their churches. And just in fact, he happens to actually be in this city or in this capital for the time being until he has to go move elsewhere. And basically the church officials like, "Listen, man, we really need the Pope to be taken down a notch, and we really need to bring him to justice. There's only one way that you can do this, and we need you." So Beryl, albeit he reluctantly agrees, but then he remembers the whole MeWe situation. He's like, "I gotta do this for MeWe." And speaking of MeWe, we find out that MeWe's actually been living with Lucy for the time being since the incidents of the last episode. And essentially, Lucy's been giving her money and making her go out and basically just do things, but at the same time giving her that open door to be like, "Hey, you got really good aptitude for magic. I think you should really join the Magic Academy," right? And you do get this great emotional scene with MeWe where she's just like, "Why are you doing this? Like, why? Why do you care so much after everything I've done to you? I stolen from you, I worked with this freaking terrible group. Why do you care about me so desperately when I haven't treated you with the utmost respect and everything?" And basically Lucy and Beryl are like, "Look, you're just a kid. Like, the shit you got caught up in, you should have no reason to even worry about that. Like, that's adult shit. Like, let the adults handle this, and you basically live a life that you should live, the life that was probably taken from you. Be basically a kid, right?" I think she says she's like 15 or something, right? Essentially, like, they're basically telling her, like, look, it's okay, like, go be a kid and everything. That's what you need to do because that's how you need to live your life. Like, you're finally now getting the opportunity to do things that typical kids get to do. That's go to school, have fun, be able to do what they need to do and everything. Now, Miwi is still kind of like disturbed and bothered by this and everything, but Beryl also has a resolve of wanting to do this because he wants to close this book or this chapter for Miwi and basically make this be a closure for her, especially with the sister. I forgot to mention, like, he also wanted to do this missions because he understood, like, hey, the sister issue and everything with Miwi and everything, with the fact that she's trying to get her sister back. So he goes to the church capital, right? And essentially he sees the Pope is doing his shady shit and everything, and he's gonna soon make his escape from the city. So Beryl then goes in, but then he gets jumped by obviously some, I guess hitmen of the Pope that are like, I never figured that, and they were just like, we figured that, like, obviously clearly there'd be somebody coming after the Pope, but never thought it'd be now, and this random old dude. So he has to take on all these guys. He's having some trouble, but eventually some of the knights show up that Beryl knows, and they're like, hey, we were told to, give you some backup and everything. You go take care of the Pope, and you go handle this situation, right? So he gets into the church, and he's standing before the Pope, and the Pope is like, you're not going to disrupt my plans, essentially, right? And you have it to where he actually brings back these dead people, right? Including Miwi's sister. And it's becoming a problem with Beryl. And they're honest to God, they're like freaking zombies, right? They're going and they're under the Pope's control because the Pope's like, go stop that man. And they're just like, oh. And Beryl's taking them down, but as quick as he's taking them down, they get right back up. But then he actually cuts one of the people's heads off, and they basically burn to ash, right? And that's when Beryl's like, I know what I have to do. So he's reluctantly, like, it's kind of crazy that he's doing this, but he's like killing them, but also laying them to rest in a church. And you do get an emotional scene where the last ones that's left, it's Miwi's sister, right? Her older sister, and essentially, he gives Miwi's sister a hug, and he knows, like, he doesn't want to do it because he wants to bring closure to Miwi, and he kind of wants to present obviously a body to Miwi for closure, and maybe probably have it to where Miwi can bury her sister, right? And actually lay her down to rest. But he clearly can tell, like, I can't, and it was I was watching the scene, man, it hit so damn hard, bro, because it's like you can tell on his face, like, he doesn't want to do this. He wants to bring Miwi's sister back to her and give her the closure she needs in her life to know, like, my sister's not coming back, and everything. I want to lay her to rest and everything. And the fact that he couldn't, and you just see when he had to close his eyes, he's like, I'm sorry. And he basically gets a sword and he cuts her head off, and then she basically burns in flames, and he's hugging her and everything. It was an emotional moment until she burns to literally nothing, and I'm just like, fuck, man. At first I thought, like, you're gonna get her, like, a reaction from the sister who's saying, like, thank you, right? But no reaction, just burns to ash, and I was just like, shit. And all that's left behind is basically the pendant that her sister had that was similar to Miwi's, right? And you can tell Beryl's very emotional, and he's starting to tear up and shit like that, because it's like, this is the last thing that's left of Miwi's sister right here, and I gotta give it to her. And he feels bad because it's like, fuck. And then all of a sudden, you just get this freaking crazed knight just show up out of nowhere, bro, and he starts attacking Beryl. And this dude is, like, freaking powerful. Like, he's even putting Beryl on the freaking ropes. Like, he's cutting Beryl up, he's giving him some nicks and bruises and everything, cutting him up. And, you know, Beryl's even saying, like, this guy is really talented with his sword. Like, I'm barely even able to keep up, right? But he's, again, he's basically on the defensive, right? Um, and he does get some offensive hits, but then eventually this dude, I don't know what the hell this dude injected. He injected some fucking drug that made him get stronger, but like, it was actually like damaging his body, right? And you just get this crazy scene like after, you know, Beryl was getting some good shots in and it looked like he won at first, like this dude injected himself and like blood just started spouting all over this dude. I don't know what type of shit he took, but it was so like crazy. And when I saw his freaking eyes like literally tearing blood, I'm just like, bro, what the hell am I watching? This is, when I tell you, man, this episode was by far the most goriest episode out of the 6 episodes, and it was such a crazy like 180 of what we've been getting the first 5 episodes. Like the first 5 episodes, you know, there were nice like carefree storylines and everything. This was like truly the first dark episode with the first like gore you actually got to see. And the action of the fight was actually really dang good. The CGI, they did go to CGI for the battle, and it actually wasn't that bad. Like the fight was really good here. Like the choreography and everything was really damn good. Um, but then you just have it to where this guy, he basically, I guess he hit his limit, right? And he basically just passes out and I guess dies or something right there. Like he dies, like straight up right then and there. So basically Beryl saves the day. He gives the closure to MeWe that she needs, and everything. And that's kind of where the story goes from that point on. But geez Louise, this was a phenomenal episode. Probably the best episode yet. And it had everything in it. It had good action. It had a good, you know, story. It had a good fight. And it had that emotional, you know, moment with the older sister when Beryl had to basically just, you know, put her to rest himself. So overall, I'm very much enjoying from Old Country Bumpkin. This show is definitely a very underrated show. And if you haven't seen it, you guys, I don't know what the hell y'all doing, but you're gonna have to check it out. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit the subscribe button if you're gonna get more from Old Country Bumpkin content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. So then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or your night or enjoy this video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a happy Mother's Day. Till then, guys, peace.